And welcome back to Power Breakfast. Thanks for staying with us here on Citizen TV. Like I mentioned earlier this morning, we are going to be talking about the entrepreneurial spirit amongst young people today. So we'll be speaking to quite a number of people who've managed to find alternative means to make an income in today's economy. I have a couple of them in studio, so we'll be talking to them in just a short while about their businesses. But Willis Raburu is also hitting the streets of Nairobi with Patrick Igunza to see how it is that you're making your money out there. So over to you, Willis. Willis, can you hear me? Are we able to get...
Wajiunga nasi tumetoka kukula, sasa tuko hapa nje, tuko na kijana mwingine hapa anajiita the street disciple. Yegos aka Patrick Igunza. Wago anawaambia tuko wapi buda?
Tuko hapa hivi leo tunakam straight kutoka Kibera Massive, na venye mnajua tunaongelea two stories of hustle. So nyuma yetu kuna vijana kadhaa watatuambia life yao iko aje ikifika ni kupiga hustle through biz. Kila mtu anasema oh nataka white collar job nini na nini vitu kama hizo, but opportunities ni few. So unadu nini ka youthman ikifika ni mambo na kutafuta kipato. That's basically what we will be looking at this morning very briefly.
Kipato si kipato ranking.
Kipato.
Income generating activity. So that's what we're going to be doing right here. Of course, tumeshaongea na watu kadhaa. So we're just going to be finding out what it takes to be out here hustling. It's very early in the morning. They're out here, of course. Some are still stuck in traffic, but they're already ready to go ahead and earn some money, some living. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Remember, unaweza jiunga nasi kwa the conversation hashtag ama ukipenda alama za reli.
Alama za reli.
Power Breakfast or at Citizen TV Kenya at Willis Raburu nawe ni
at Patrick Igunza with an 8
at N. Yegos. Back to you, Joey.
Having too much fun in the morning, clearly. Thank you, Willis and Patrick. We'll be catching up with them a little bit later on. But like I mentioned here in the studio, I've got some of those young hustlers, as Willis calls them, who've managed to start their own businesses. So we'll be hearing more about their stories. I want you guys to introduce yourselves and tell us what it is that you do. We'll start with you.
So my name is Caroline Mombi Washira. I'm the CEO of Capriccio Pastries. So basically what I do, I sell cakes. We do occasional cakes, wedding cakes, birthday cakes, anniversary cakes. Yeah,
all the cakes.
Yes, all the cakes.
All right, welcome to the show. Next.
My name is Dishon Tagwanya, and I sell bracelets. It's my business, and I sell paracord bracelets, natural stones bracelets, and I also do silicone wristband branding.
Wow. And you brought some of your work here with you.
Yeah, I brought some of my work here
today, so we'll get to know more about that.
Yeah.
And lastly, Nelly?
My name is Nelly, and I am a farmer. That's all I do all the time. Our core business right now is lettuce. We grow it, package it, and sell it to restaurants.
Wow. That's an interesting business. I like to see young people getting into farming. I have a little bit of a farmer's gene myself, so, so that's quite exciting. So let's talk about the beginning of it all and where your passion lies and how it is that you discovered that you want to do this particular business. A lot of young people are interested in starting their own businesses but don't quite know, should I sell clothes, should I, do just the typical things. So how did you discover your passion for pastries?
So first of all, I had an interest. So when growing up, my sister used to make all of us birthday cakes. So I didn't know that I had a passion in me at first. So with time, I started making some cakes with a jiko, a simple jiko, you can imagine. So I used to go to my neighbor's place, take some sand, with the sufuria, and make some cakes and take them to school at St. Paul's University. So I used to sell them to my fellow students. So with time they were like, Carol, you should bring some more cakes during lectures. So it just progressed, and the lecturers were interested. So I used to drop my cakes at the BVC's office. And
were you selling them at this point? That's kind of getting a good market.
You know what they say, you have to spend money to get money. So you actually need to invest a lot. So I ended up using like all my savings.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, but you did turn it into a business later on.
Yes.
So that all worked out. Deshaun, why bracelets?
Bracelets. You see, I had bought a bracelet from abroad, and it cost me about 700 bob to get it here. So every time I wore it, people wanted one, but everybody was complaining about the price. But I knew that I had taken it from the supplier at about $1.95. So I said, you know, if I could bring this material and I could make this bracelet by myself, I could probably offer it at a better price to my friends, and I could make a decent profit off that. And that's how I got into this business.
You're business-minded. I like that. Did you study business in school? Was that...
Not really.
Not really?
It's through you see, from Centonomy Campus Edition, I learned that business opportunities lie in people's complaints. So everybody, in my case, everybody was complaining about the price, so I worked on it. You solve someone's problem, and that's where the business is.
You got it, man. You're a student.
Yeah.
Nelly, farming for you. Is that a family thing? Is it your thing? How did you get into it?
It's definitely not a family thing. No one in my family gets it or does it. But I had an interest in it, and then I didn't know where to start from. So I talked to a couple of people here and there, and then with time the opportunities just came. And then first my dad gave me some land to start with. My cousin was doing her project, so I was kind of shadowing her, and then seeing someone my age doing it was just like, yeah, it's doable. So I shadowed her for a while, and then one day we were just like, let's do this, and we did. And I mean, we've scaled down the business a bit, but now we're in more control. We make a better profit. It sounds like lettuce is such a weird thing to do.
I know. I think you're the first lettuce farmer.
Yeah, it's not really a conventional thing to grow, but surprisingly, it's something that it's used in all the restaurants that we know of, that we've done research on. So it's a fast-moving product, and we thought, okay, the problem guys had, same thing with him, was they'd not get clean lettuce, or they'd get lettuce that has snails or something like that. So our niche was that it's clean, it's delivered on time, it's always fresh, and because of that, we've had repeat business for about 2 years now.
Wow.
So you mentioned profits. How long did it take for you to either break even or even begin, you know, making a profit?
Well, farming is hard, man. It's really hard. So the first business completely failed, our first project. So we made loss after loss after loss. And then when we started the second project, it took us 6 months to break even. And then now we were able to pay ourselves a salary, hire 2 more people into the company. That was within a year. Yeah.
Okay, wow. And Deshaun, what has been your experience? So you discovered that this is a business idea I have. You start making the bracelets yourself.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to sort of say, maybe I should stick with this? Or did you ever have a point in time where you said,
yeah,
it's not working?
It's about, after about 4 days. I remember on the first night I made about 10 bracelets when I had the materials. And I sold them to my friend, he's Danny Kenga. He is the current congressman at the University of Nairobi, Mombasa campus. He bought all of them, 10 of them, and I had spent 3,000 to bring in the material. And I sold them at 300 bob to him. And when he bought all of them, I had made all my investment back. So I said, hey, this is a business. I could really, if I'd made all my investment in the first day. And I still had some more paracord rope left to make even more bracelets. So I said, I need to sit down and
these with your hands?
Yeah, with my own 2 hands. That's how, and I said, this is where I need to turn this into a business. So I sat down and I came up with a very clear business plan that I want to deal with paracord bracelets. Secondly, I want to deal with the kinds of bracelets people who wear to the office. And thirdly, silicone wristband branding.
Okay.
That's why.
Perfect. Now let's talk business plans since you brought that up. After you've given away all your cakes to all the lecturers and everyone in your school, at what point did you come up with a business plan?
When I was approached by a corporate, Panesas Kenya. So they called me up to do some deliveries. So then it became like a full-time gig. So I was like, I can't really go to work. I can't afford to be employed because it needs my full attention because I'm the CEO. So like I just sat down with myself. I thought critically about it, and yeah, I just kicked it off.
Kicked it off. Little research or a lot of research? Or
Yeah, a lot of
the pastry business. I mean, there's quite a number of people doing that in Kenya.
Yeah, there are quite a number of people doing that. But what makes me different from all the others is that I have never been to a pastry class. I'm a self-taught YouTube chef.
Oh, come on now.
Okay. So, I knew what I wanted to begin with. I knew my purpose was I had a purpose to feed other people, and the only way I knew how to do that was through my cakes. So yeah, with that information, I went to YouTube and I got more information to how to perfect my baking skills. So with that, actually my family encouraged me financially, and I'm growing. I can say that it's really working out. So yeah, if you're out there and you want to start a business, it will all work out.
Family support goes a long way. Did you have family support?
Yes, I did have family support from my sister and my mom. They really came out for me because at that time, I remember I didn't have, first of all, going through St. Barnabas Campus Edition, I didn't have the money to do it, so I went and talked to them, and they told me I could pay in installments, and I talked to my mom and my sister, and they helped me to pay for these installments. So, coming from St. Barnabas Campus Edition, it's really, it gave me that push that, you can start making money even if you have. I started this business with less than 3,000 Kenya shillings, and right now where I am, I can only thank God for that.
Where are you now? How much money are you making? Where are you?
In about a week, I'd make in profits of about 4,500.
Okay.
Because I sell up to 30, on average, 30 bracelets every week.
Wow.
Because I have some people who come to me and they buy in bulk, and they go for reselling purposes. And I also have friends and getting referrals from them, and also I direct people from my Instagram page and Facebook page to Jumia Market, and as a bit I cannot get this bracelet to someone who is in Gong or Juja, but through Jumia Market they get to buy it online, and they go pick it up at Victor House, 6th floor.
Well, yeah, that's important. We'll talk about how social media has played into, businesses that are coming up these days. But Nelly, on the issue of capital, you mentioned that your dad gave you a piece of land to sort of start. Was capital an issue for you when you were thinking of, getting into agribusiness, or how did you go about that whole process?
Well, for any business that's starting, capital is always an issue because you haven't proven yourself. So for people to lend you the money or for you to finance it yourself, it's a big burden. So I had family, I had friends, I have my business partner who we all chipped in slowly by slowly, monthly. Initially when we started the first business, we were 4 of us, and everyone chipped in, and it went to buying supplies, buying the seeds, paying the workers, that kind of thing. Now we've gone to the point where we can actually approach a bank. Like the bank we have an account in right now, we go to them regularly because we're making deposits. They give us financial advice. They let us know if we want to expand, they can give us this much. We need to pay in this long. And we found out actually for farmers, it's different when it comes to borrowing because you have different crop cycles, for example, so they can, let's say, space out your payments or something like that based on what you're growing. So that makes it more flexible now, but to start with, it was really, really hard. And really, really expensive.
Yeah, definitely not always easy in the beginning there. In terms of licenses and permits and taxes and all that, that's also something that you have to consider when you're starting your own business. Did you have anyone to help you with that, or how did you navigate those issues?
Google.
Google and YouTube.
No, I think it's because our generation is exposed to so much more. You can find so much information online. So that first, Googling how to start a business in Kenya, how to register a company, and then just talking to different individuals. Like we have an accountant who helps us figure out how to file our taxes, do we need to file taxes, that kind of thing. Someone had to explain it all to us. To register a company, for example, so that most people will work with you on a one-to-one basis, but it comes to payments, they don't want to pay me personally. They want some name that they can maybe take to court if we did something wrong. So something like that. So that one we learned the hard way. And I remember that's one of the things we were taught in our St. Barnabas classes about how to just seek out that information. If you really want that opportunity, you can find it, right? So we were taught many things in the class, but what stood out for me especially was the time value of money. So for example, I'm a university student and I'm also a farmer. What do I do in that time? I could sleep for 8 hours. I could, and I have 8 hours of classes, you know, that kind of thing. But what do I do in between in order to better myself?
Yeah. I like the way you think. We will continue this conversation shortly. We caught up with Willis Abru and Patrick Gunza earlier on. They are in Kibera talking to some young hustlers there. I believe that they are standing by. So over to you, Willis and Gunza.
Thank you very much indeed. As we had earlier indicated, we are coming to you live from Toy Market. It is a day that we are just shining the spotlight on some of the young men who've gone out there to ensure that they use their hands to earn a living. I mean, they are shining away from what we call white-collar jobs, and they are deciding that whatever it takes for them to put food on the table, that they will do. Amaje, brother?
Hapo nitakuwa sasa. Unajua leo sasa imekuwa tena reverse roles. Ujamaa ndo mimi ndo nakwanga English, ujamaa shenga. So ni sawa tu pia. Kuna
barabara tukibonga shenga tuwezi bonga English. So right now tunajiunga na one of the hustlers hapa hivi Toy Market. Kama Roman wangu anaweza kapao na check size ndio ako in the process ya ku prepare display yake. Anajiita baba watoto hapa hivi. Father Abraham. Akionaga watoto kwa street anasikianga poa sana. Labda brother kama unaweza anza tu kwa kutuambia jina yako na hustle yenyewe upiga.
Mimi naitwa Saimo ama baba watoto. Watoto wote dunia hii ni wangu. Nikiona mother na ball nasikia poa. Hii ndio hustle yangu. Nauza gama toys. Hizi ndio zinani promote, zinanilipia school fees, familia yangu inalishwa na kila kitu hapa. Tunategemea hii.
Wewe umekukichapa hii wera miaka kaa ngapi hivi na ni nini ili kuinspire? Kwa nini ukusaka job ya tile, let's say ka mimi hivi na vitu kaa hizo kama tu come street upige hustle?
Mimi nilienda kole, niko na diploma yangu na niko na ndugu zangu hapa pia na degree. Tukatafuta job tukakosa. Niko na mimi mtu wa ghetto, sasa kuingia crime. Niko na acha nijaribu kuhustle na njia yangu. Nikaingilia hii toys kitu ka 11 years ago. Na naona inasukuma. Jinalisha watu wangu wako poa na alipia shule, wife pia wako poa.
Okay. Msana za kasikia ukisema toys mazee anashindwa aje tena. Unataka kusema easy madolini naona hapo hivi na ma games nini na nini zina manage kukulipia let's say rent na watu wako wenye unasema wako system wote unawalipia comfortably?
Si comfortably kabisa, but zinangengana. Hizi doli unaona hapa hivi every week mu make sure nimeleta stock kingine na ngengana pole pole. Nikipata so pale nyingine nipatia so 5 nyingine so 2. I think niko poa.
Kwa hii biz kuna challenges gani sasa hivi zenye na face? I'm sure sasa hizi naona cheko umerauka mapema sana hivi umecome through. So hebu tuambie pia what other challenges una face kwa hii biz?
Challenges ni mob. First ni kama hii election ikaribia, hii to yetu inakuwa hot sana. Juu tuko Kibera. Tunakuwa na tunaweza chomewa, yani vitu zina electoral violence inakuaga. Challenge nyingine ni hizi stock kutoka gama juu. Sasa huko pia inakuwa ni shida, wakituletea wanatuambia dola iko juu, dola iko chini, hatuelewagi hizi maneno. Hizi sababu hatujui kuzifanya. Sasa tunasikia iko juu tunapandishiwa. Na ikishuka tuambiagu, but sasa tunaambia iko juu. Sasa kama ikatusaidia kuleta hizi stock na njia fulani ama ile ishukishio tax yao, nasikia poa sana.
Alafu utacheki Willis ina inspire sana. Uboy amesema akona diploma na akona mabro wake hapa hivi wasa wanapiga hustle wako na degree. Wasa wako mtaani wanafikiria juu nilipiga mbuku lazima nipate hiyo job. I mean wira hiyo study nilipiga. But sometimes inakuwa hard. So
make do.
Inabidi umejituma, si ndio? So au brother nyako mtaani wanakucheki sasa hivi na wamekula mbuku ndio, but hustle haijajipa. Unaweza kuwa inspire aje?
Mimi nawaambia tu wajaribu kitu. Hata kama ni kuuza kiberiti kwa barabara, fanya kitu pate bob yako. As long as you're still waiting na una hopes, hiyo job hutikola job kama utafanya. But hii pia inalipa. Jua kali kuna do.
Sasa mzee, hebu cheki East Short ni street, one of the streets hapa hivi Toy Market, but ka Alfred unazoka zoom ucheki wase wako hustle already na inamaanisha wase wanajua kuna cheda ina come through.
Wamerauka mapema sana.
Wako ready. Tutaendelea side nyingine, kuna brother ako pale pia inaonekana kazi yake ni kumekdo through slamba. Acha tuone nini hizi anauza na atasema nini kuzihusu. Brother kama unaweza come tu karibu kiasi. Asante sana. Labda tuambie tu jina na hii job yako ni aina gani?
Jina mimi naitwa Leon Cloud. Job yangu ni ya kuuza mobile sheets, duvet covers, duvets, pillowcases and pillow. Yep, na napenda sana customers pia wakaribie, kuna vitu poa in toy market. Na nakaribisha sana na nimependa sana kukaribia. Pia nimekaribisha, pia mnaona shop vile iko poa. Mnaona vitu ziko true. Ndio kazi inategemea, ndio inapatia ceiling yangu ya kula, kuishi pia. Hivyo
hiyo design sana ni Bamba Willis. Yamerauka kuchapa wera lakini ndo yake ukamthrough wasewa kilala.
Utoa wapi hizi?
Komba. Yep. Ununua bell, kuja kujifungulia, saa najisapia kujuzia sasa ile kwa 11. Yep.
Ati hapa lazima ukuwe juu obviously kuna sio hapa watakamivi alafu wanataka kunego sasa mabei. Kuna ile bei yenye lazima ukiuza utakuwa sawa. Lakini tena kuna ile bei yenye ukiuza chini yeye utakuwa umechomeka.
Inategemea na ile inategemea na Kenya nataka pia. Kama ni duvet cover, on pillowcase, on pillow, pia inategemea Kenya nataka nitamuzia tu price nzuri. Yep.
Na hapa Igunza hapa amechukua pillow.
Hiyo design bado inalipa
3 kutoa hivi mtu wangu. Usingizi ni tamu.
Hiyo design na boy inspire the fact that amejituma. Unajua si rahisi hivyo. Wasioneza kuna wale wanasemanga wanapenda kulala, ukilala wanasemanga ni kazi ni ya kudedi. Sisi umekuja mbio, unataka kutuambia nini?
Hapana, nilikuwa naona makastoma wangu nilikuja kwa salamia. Nyinyi nao. Karibuni.
Sio unakwanga hapa hivi toy market?
Mimi niko na hoteli. Niko huko juu.
Unataka tukamtuone? Tutakuja kwa jina?
Evelyn.
Okay, unaweza kaambiaje basi sister wenye wako huko nje? Sasa hizi kuna watu wengi wamelala, wao wamefungua hoteli. Tayari makastoma wamekuja, unaweza kawaambiaje?
Naweza kuambia wasimame waende wafanye kazi. Wafanya kazi kwa bidii.
Na wanaweza wakasema labda kazi ya hoteli kuuzia watu hapa sokoni ni ya jua kali. Wewe unaiangalia kazi ya jua kali?
Hapana, mimi naiona kama kazi mzuri sana jini yangu. Sijaandikwa, naweza fanya kazi yoyote za zile napenda. Alafu napata pesa yangu binafsi.
Okay, hujaandikwa. Ina maana kuwa umeandikana?
Nimeandika watu.
Watu wangapi?
Watu 3.
Na unawalipa, wanasomesha watoto wao nini na nini?
Na wanakula na wanakuja asubuhi na wanakula mpaka jioni.
Okay. That's a happy lady.
Unaandikana.
Amesema hajaandikwa. So mimi nikaona kama hajaandikwa na maana anaandikana. Hiyo design ndio. And she's a happy woman. Tunaweza tukaitos over to Joy bado angalia manake in the studio we're given to understand that kuna mahasla wengine ambao part time ni students, part time ni mahasla. So tusikie pia wakifungia hii chapter wanasema nini, and then watatos back over to us tumalizie na maboy wengine wako ile side nyingine.
Power breakfast.
New design.
Oh man, I love it. Thank you so much, Gunza and Willis. I've learned so much sharing in that. Remember hapa niko na watu wanachapa buku. So speaking of that, let's talk about the work-life balance between school and the business that you do. You're still in school?
Yes.
Are you in school?
Yes.
You're all in school?
Yes.
So how does that work out? On one hand, you're a CEO of your own company. On the other hand, you still have to keep your grades up. So how does that work?
As for me, I still have to work long hours. So because of my passion, so I have to schedule. So at this time I'm going to school, then finish up, go back home. So I'd work for late hours, for 15 hours a day. But I really don't mind because it's what I like. It's what I'd love to wake up and I'm not employed. I'm waking up to do my own thing. So that gives me the courage and effort to always move on.
Deshaun, have you had to struggle at all between an order coming in and you have class in the morning?
I did. And how I maneuvered my way through this is, from St. Anthony Campus Edition, I was taught that you start a business and you focus on firing yourself as soon as possible. So the step I took, the structure, I started to put a structure into this business, focusing on paracodes only, I talked to my cousin and I told him that, this is the business I have. I'm bringing these kinds of materials. I can teach you how to make them, and in every bracelet, this is how much I'll pay you for it. So that's like a structured setup to free myself, because you don't start a business only for profit. You also want that freedom. You want to be free to do, other things. So that's how I maneuvered my way through that, and I have time to read, and I still have time to focus on my business, because I'm just taking the bracelets from one person and I'm giving them to another person, and I'm making money off that.
Nelly, what's your advice to young people who may be watching, thinking of starting a business, still in school?
I guess you have to plan. You need to plan and delegate. Like he said, you can't do everything in your business, and if you do, and when you're not there, your business is not working, then that's not a successful business. So you need to learn to plan. Like for me, when I'm in school strictly. I don't pick business calls. I've delegated that to someone else. When I'm done with school, I can pick it up, or I can do it. And like she said, you can work 15 hours and not feel it. Like, this is mine. I can stay awake. I can do it day after day. Also, that keeps you going. And then I think also school gives you some kind of fulfillment. Getting good grades. It's hard. But then that being on the dean's list, it's also really worth it. Like, it's really worth it. And it shows you that outside of books, that you have another life, and you're maybe even employable, or you're capable of something outside of books. And I think that makes you an all well-rounded individual.
Well, here's something I wanted to talk about, because we hear a lot of people who have dropped out of school, started their own businesses, been very successful in that space, but they're still advocates for, stay in school, get the skills, have something to fall back on. How do you all feel about that? Do you feel that school is actually giving you practical skills that when you get out there and start your own business, that you're able to grasp from?
Yes.
In which way?
Like I've studied public relations, and that gives me like an upper hand to even approach investors, and because I know how to relate with them. I have experience from my education. So like Samsung have launched the new twin fridge. So like if I can approach them, and they can send a couple hot points. They have the hardcore mixer, the standard mixer. So with that information that I gathered from school, I can be able to implement it. But you see, if I wouldn't have had like a background foundation, I wouldn't be able to succeed and talk about and move on. Because in 5 years, I don't see myself coming to an interview here again as a young entrepreneur. You'll be hosting me for top 40 under 40. You see, at 29, I'll have retired. Yes.
Wow, that is the dream. I started a business when I was your age. Nelly, what are your thoughts about that? About the the education aspect of it? People say Mark Zuckerberg is a dropout and he's on Facebook. Forgetting that he dropped out of Harvard.
Not a local public university. I think university in itself opens up your mind, and I think without that, you're not able to see certain opportunities. You're not able to know even how to implement certain things. Like for example, I'm a journalism major, and people feel like that has nothing to do with farming. But then I've used what I've learned in school to produce videos and to write and to share my knowledge in farming with other farmers, whether aspiring farmers or other people who are in the industry. So I think it's interrelated. And for example, outside of school, if you do a course like Centonomy, the Centonomy course that we did, it opens up your mind. Like for example, in my class, we met so many people, so many other entrepreneurs. We network with each other, we talk, we stay in touch, that kind of thing. And it keeps you going. If I had not been in that space, I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity. I wouldn't have like-minded people to support me or to talk with or to share my challenges with right now.
I also want to talk about some of the challenges that you might face being a young entrepreneur, where people might not take you as seriously and say, what do you know? How long have you had this business? I've been here for 40 years. Those challenges, how do you sort of navigate those when you know that you're capable and you know that you have what it takes? Deshaun, do you want to speak on that?
Yes, I'd like to say. You see, on that, I'd like to say that for every entrepreneur, I think that your communication skills should be paramount. That should be number one, because you have to be able to communicate your idea in a very short period of time, and I'm supposed to understand that everything about the business in that short period, and I'm also I need to believe that you are someone that can execute this business plan. So if I was to say the challenges that I've faced in this business, it would be, you know, it's really challenging sometimes because I came to Nairobi expecting to make very big sales in campus, but with the lecturer strike, you see, so I had this big hurdle that I'm sitting with the stock and I need to keep it moving. And that's why I came up with this idea where I could give them to people at a certain price and they could go and resell it. And that's how I got through that hurdle. And also, going back to what Nelly said, it's very important that we took the Centenary Campus Edition class because, you know, sitting with like-minded people, we get to help each other, we network. And whenever I'm facing a problem, I talk to someone. Maybe Nelly knows someone who's good in computers and everything, and she helps me out because, you know, we are young and we are focusing on our futures. And I think and that's sort of that closet at that it's very paramount for you to make sure that your communication skills are very, very important to you. You should work on them.
Okay, I'm going to take some final comments, and maybe you can all share how people can reach you. We'll start with you, Deshauna. You know, if people are interested.
If people want to get me on Facebook, my business is known as Bijou Bracelets. It's BIJO Bracelets. You can search it on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram. And my handle on Instagram is just Mutagwanya. And on Facebook, I'm Dishon Mutagwanya. So people can you can connect with me, and I'll show you how we can get this business to you.
Show them how. Carol, since next time I'm going to see you'll be on Top 40 and to 40, maybe you can share your contact information as well.
So you can find me on Facebook. Our company name is Capriccio, CARPICCO. Capriccio Pastries. We've posted pictures, what we do, the events we've hosted. So yeah, you can just like, follow, etc. And finally, Nelly.
Well, my business is not online for obvious reasons, but I'm always open to meeting up or talking to other farmers, helping them. I've had people come to the farm and let's say see what we do. So all my handles are Nelly Kuya.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best when you do reach Top 40 in Situ Sahel.
We won't.
It's been a very interesting discussion, and I wish you all the best in all your various businesses. I hope you've learned a tip or two. If you are a young person, it's never too early to chase that dream and start that business and make that money, most importantly. Williams and Iguns are still on the streets of Kibera, just learning about how different people are hustling their way into a living. So we're going to hand it over to them, and of course I'll be back to talk to Chef Ali.
All right, here we go to here. We are back. We're now chilling here, like we told you, here into a market. We are getting to know a lot of information about what else wako hapa hivi. Wanna hustle. I don't know, jamani wa mangepa, kofia, hats, throwback. You know what it is, man. Representing the Jordans. Niko hapa hivi, Calligraph Jones. What up? Of course, na Mr. Yegos.
Design says mama sana kungara
mdwangu.
Unsheki hustle inajipa na look pia inakubali nini na nini. Tubangelea mzito tusikie ni nani tena na mbona ameamua kufunika vichwa zetu ndio mazee kabob ka come through.
Bob ka come through ndio jamaa hivi hapa. Akatoa na pia nasikia hapa ma rhythms zina come through hapa. My rhythm thing agwan.
Yeah man. So unajua tena that's when I realize things kama hizo. So brother, labda tuambie tu. Kwanza lazima usikize muziki ukichapa wera.
Unajua muziki unakupa morali ya kufanya kazi, sasa ndio manake naweka sana muziki. Ndio nikifanya kazi nakuwa na ile bidii morali yani.
Alafu wewe umeamua hustle yako itakuwa tu ni kofia nini na nini lebo kungarisha vichwa vya watu. Nini ilikuvutia yani ukamua kupiga hustle yako kupitia njia kama ino?
Hii hapa niliona jua inachoma sana watu vichwa, nikaona niwafunike vichwa, na pia inangarisha mtu akitembea anajiona yani yeye ni mwanaume.
Na imekuwa ikikubali yani hii hustle yako imekuwa ikilipa.
Hii hustling ulipa tena vizuri sana. Ijapokuwa kuna wakati mwingine unapata kazi iko chini, lakini inabidi tumevumilia. Tumevumilia tu yani ili kuliko kwenda kuiba, kung'ang'aniana hapa hivi.
Hapa hivi kuna machangamoto gani apart from kuuza sasa leo ni ngumu sana kuuza hoodie ya Arsenal vile walilose jana. So apart from hiyo kuna changamoto gani tena?
Changamoto ipo, unajua kuna wakati mwingine unapata kazi ni ngumu, lakini ukipata wakati kama huu ambapo ni wakati wa jua hivi, kazi huwa ni ngumu kusema kweli. Kazi ni ngumu na inabidi tu yani tumehustle na njia nyingine tu kuuza vitu vingine kama hivi mavin pole pole tu.
Alafu ninaangalia naona kuwa kuna kofia kama hizi za wanaume, kuna zile za kibinti pia umeweza kuzianika hapa chini, kuna za watoto hivi mavin na vitu kama vile. Labda ni kofia za aina gani ambazo huwa zinakuletea kipato cha juu sana? Yani wewe ukienda sokoni tu na mweleo kama na hizi 1000 zangu 3, heri nichukue kofia za kina dada ama za watoto ama za wanaume. Ni gani huwa unaona zinavutia sana na zinatoa kipato cha maana?
Zile uvutia sana huwa ni kama hizi design hizi hapa hivi.
Kama hii nimevaa hii hapa. Hizi zinavuta sana mtazamaji ya kwamba
uvutia sana. Unajua kuna wale wanaume hupenda sana kung'ara. Sasa huwa inabidi tu nimeleta zile kofia ambazo at least haziwezi kaa kwa duka sana, zitaenda.
Na labda kuna mtu amekaa pale home anaangalia anashindwa, kwani kofia huenda zikanisaidia ni kukimu mahitaji yangu ya kimsingi? Labda kwa kifupi tu tueleze kofia kama ino ulovaa, labda ukienda sokoni utaipata kwa shilingi ngapi, na ukija uipige pasi nini na nini uioshe itakutolea pesa ngapi, na faida yako itakuwa kama how much hivi mwisho wa siku?
Pia naona kuna difference, kuna kama hiyo, kuna kama hii na pia kuna kama hiyo.
Kwa mfano sasa kama hii hapa naweza ipata kwa 250 nikipiga pasi na karibu 50. Sasa mimi mwenyewe nitaiuza, hiyo itakuja shilingi ngapi? 300. Nikija kuiuza nitaiuza na 400 au 450. Sasa hapo naona itanilipa.
Sasa vile tulikuwa nasema kuna wale wenye pengine wamekaa pale nyumbani wanasema life ni ngumu, hawana mbele wala nyuma hivi, ungewaambia nini wale vijana chipukizi tu kama wewe hivi na wametulia home, ama wanangoja mwanasiasa fulani akuje awapatie kafinje hivi, ungewaambia aje?
Au ningewaambia tu watie bidii. Unajua ukipata kitu kidogo tu usilalie, tumia, itazalisha, iwezi kosa kuzalisha. Itazalisha, iwezi kosa kuzalisha.
Tuna give thanks sana, ni motivation tu, yani sinajua tena ni kujituma. Hiyo ndio essence, yani at the end of it all bora ufanye kitu yenye inakuletea kashilingi kako, utasikia fit. Sika uko motivated?
Mimi niko motivated sana. In fact nataka sasa, kuna hii nyingine hapo iko fit tena nimepewa. Sijapewa, nimeona. Hii pia ni nyingine sasa. Lazima tukue na hapa hivi. Unajua kama tuko Kibra lazima tuwakilishe kama watu wa Kibra, ndio? Lazima tukue nayo. I say a big thank you so much for all of you guys who are tuning in. Tumeshukuru sana. Befu cameraman hapa hivi Alfred Cheriot, tumeshukuru sana. Mr. YG pia kwa hapo hivyo aka Waida kwa hapo hivi pia tunasema asante sana kwa you and to everybody. Hope you've been inspired. You as the title down there says, young and entrepreneurial. It's all about being young and innovative. Kwa hizi mataimu ameni aje street disciple.
Yeah man, street disciple as always. Mini nazambia tuma YouTube ko inje, you risk a lot by not risking at all. So make sure umejituma tu. The moment una take the first step ndio inakuanga umeanza hiyo jani yako ya 1000 miles. So be motivated, jitume huko nje. Si lazima upige suti nini na nini ndio kwa kitu ka come through. Na at the end of the day uta realize asol mingi zo ulipa irrespective your design.
Right, so thank you guys so much. Back to you Joey hapo na Joe unapika hizo meatballs usimalize, tunakuja from Asia. My name is Ule Saburu. Tunasema successful people look like you and the great Manchester United. Tuonane tena kesho. Asante.
Yeah, peace.